So you super boy, can say something. I'm back for to it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and you always watch the video.
So it has been quite a long time since we last checked in on Bobbi Althoff. Around a year and a half ago, I actually declared her the biggest industry plant I had ever witnessed hit the podcast scene.
Hi guys, welcome to the Really Good Podcast with your host Bobbi Althoff.
Basically, this woman came out of nowhere and had some huge guests like Drake, Mark Cuban, and other celebrities on her show that she dubbed the Really Good.
How could you be, look, just because, alright, look, if you have friends, right? You know people way off of social media, off of YouTube, off of Twitch. You're actually known. You actually know a lot of people, and then you start a podcast. Them friends that you know are going to be the people that you're going to interview because you know them. Other people probably are going to want you to pay them. These people you know, so I don't like that industry plan thing. But if somebody comes in out of nowhere and they know people, that helps them. A lot of us don't make it nowhere because we don't know nobody and because we don't get the support that we need from the people, the few people that do know us. It's a lot of people who have a lot of talent, whether that's music, drawing, doing beats, doing anything. But sadly, because you don't know a lot of people, therefore, that's probably why you didn't make it. I ain't gonna say you're not going to make it, but that's probably why you didn't. Like me, I probably will be what I probably will have a million sub plaque back there if I knew the right people and the right people were supporting. But sadly, it is the way it is.
Podcast.
I think my mom named me after a lawyer, which always kind of like rubbed me the wrong way.
Within a week of the Drake interview, Bobbi was being represented by one of the top talent agencies and getting mainstream publicity. For this reason, people began to call her an industry plant because the only content that she had made online before this was essentially a spoof of mommy blogger TikTok content, where she did garner millions of followers, mainly moms all around the country who liked her sarcastic brand of humor.
There is nothing more embarrassing than walking around with one of these. Everyone knows how it got there. They know what you did.
So she had 3 point some million subs or followers, and then she started a podcast. Duh. That's how it goes. Like, look, when it comes to social media in general, for people to sign you, it's about the algorithm. It's about the engagement. If you get all these likes, all these comments, all these tweets, all these reposts, that company see that, oh, let me sign you because you're the next big thing. Come on, bro. If you drop a song right now, you could be a fresh out the, like, look, let's say you got Head of Cloud, you got Head of Motion, Head of people on you, you know a lot of people, but you never done music, right? Today you want to start doing music. You drop a song. All the people that you know share the song. You get 100. You get a million views in 24 hours. More than likely, a 95% chance companies are going to be calling. That's how it goes.
She claims that she parlayed this TikTok career into another career in podcasting after she offered her followers $300 if they could get a celebrity to come onto her podcast.
It was like a finder's fee, right? You said if you can get a celebrity, I will pay you $300.
Yeah.
She says that this offer led to the episode with Funny Marco, which would in turn lead to her being in bed with Drake. You can picture her to be like a slightly more successful Hawk Tuah girl. To me, their careers actually draw a lot of parallels to each other, but one had to tell the world her methods for sucking dudes off before she got thrown into the belly of the industry matrix. You know, they both had that type of lightning in a bottle rise to fame that left onlookers saying, damn, this world is getting really f***ed up. But to be fair to Bobbi, she does seem a lot more intelligent than Hawk Tuah.
Hawk Tuah. Hawk Tuah. Hawk Tuh. Say it aggressive, like really.
Whatever happened to that chick, by the way?
Anywho, I'm gonna go to bed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
I guess she's still asleep. And with Bobbi having such an astronomical rise to fame in such a short period of time, and the fact that most people felt like she was directly biting her entire deadpan comedic style from Funny Marco himself, she started to get a lot of ridicule online. I don't think it helped that she missed her son's birthday party to be there in bed with Drake that day.
You know? I flew all the way here.
You did. I really do appreciate
on my daughter's
that.
first birthday.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
This was the only thing that I felt that was weird. Why are y'all sitting in the bed? Like, I ain't gonna lie, that was weird to me. Like, what are y'all doing? Like, why, out of all places, a bed? Like, it's just one girl. She does it's a podcast too. But like, why I don't watch the podcast, but I see like the clips of it on Instagram, and every single one that I see, it's her. She leaned back in the chair. She got her feet holding the tripod, and that's how she's talking. Legs wide open. She got on pants or whatever, but it's like legs wide open, feet holding the tripod, and she's talking. Why are you doing that? But hey, it worked because hey, somebody like me remembers it, and you might know more likely the person or the podcast I'm talking about. Hey, so hey, she did right.
Mm-hmm.
You missed your daughter's first birthday for
to be here.
Dark.
I wouldn't have did that.
Regret that you'll never be able to undo.
Yeah.
Horrible parenting.
Something people thought was a joke at first, as it was her brand to be dry and sarcastic, but now it's been revealed that she was being totally serious. The other thing was, when she was doing these interviews, she would constantly be making passes at these men, asking them if they would sleep with her, or if she was their type.
Am I your type?
I'd do it.
Thank you. Would you date someone that looks like me?
Yep.
Something that is not only strange to do as an interviewer, but also it got even more wild when people found out that she was still married. Strangely enough, the dude would actually file for divorce the very same month the Drake podcast came out, which led to quite a bit of speculation online.
I'd do it.
One thing I will say is that she was way ahead of her time when it came to the Drake mistreatment, deleting their interview right after it started going viral, and hating at his concert. But after a while, the sarcastic, too cool to care bit really got old, and she even got put in her place by rapper Offset, who let her know that she wasn't all that.
You wanted to be on my podcast.
Why you keep saying that, that shit, man? I honestly didn't even want to do this shit. I don't fucking do interviews. You heard, you already told me you looked me up. I'm walking out on bullshit. I'm fucking with you because they're making me.
As a matter of fact, he cooked the hell out of her.
You need a little bit of seasoning.
He did.
You ain't got no seasoning, man. You like a plain piece of chicken just on the thing. You pull it off and then you serve the dish. You need some motherfucking seasoning, man.
You can leave now.
This is my hotel. I paid for this motherfucker. You can leave now.
And then she changed up her whole look, and she went on a show with Keke Palmer, and right there she got accused of being an industry plant right to her face.
I know. You're not an industry plant, right?
I am, but...
You do feel kind of planty. We do have the same manager, so is this
I know, isn't that crazy?
Feels a bit planty.
This is definitely planty.
You got here in 5 minutes. It took me 20 years.
Hey, it has been a minute.
What do I think industry plant is? It's like somebody that...
You came up at a different time though, Keke, bro. You came at where we didn't have no internet. It wasn't no viral. It wasn't no Twitter. It wasn't no TikTok. It wasn't no nothing. You had to grind. That's why a lot of like veterans, whether they come to anything, actors, especially actors, they be low-key mad at the people that's young because they got it slightly way easier. I ain't gonna say all you gotta do, but hey, if you get a viral moment, that's it. These actors, she like her, grinding since she was a kid, literally a kid. So she's just, I ain't gonna say just now, but she got her recognition once she got older. Bobbi came in while you're older and you get your recognition like that, but different times though.
Has been like that is tied to someone else in the industry and uses those connections to capitalize, and they like have zero talent.
I'm not an anythinger. I don't have any talents.
And then people started to say that she was trying to manufacture moments. She had Ryan Garcia chasing her around the room like they were on the playground.
Bro, you're running fast, man. Relax.
He would later tweet out that they had this intimate situation after that was recorded, and she continued with this reputation that she was kind of being bounced around the industry.
You got some close-ups?
I like to read people's messages, not get room tours.
Let me read your messages.
No. I don't like
I'll let you read one message if you let me read one message.
I delete all of my messages.
Liar.
Are you cleaning? I do. You don't? You keep your messages?
I delete my messages?
Yeah, you keep yours?
People that delete their messages are cheaters. I'm not a liar or a cheater. I hate liars.
And I feel like relevancy-wise, she kind of just came and went, and honestly, Hawk Tuah kind of took her spot online. Nowadays, Bobbi's channel and TikTok are mainly inactive, and the last couple of podcasts only garnered a small percentage of what she was averaging only a year ago. And I actually put myself through absolute agony by watching over an hour of Bobbi being interviewed by Forbes and Wired magazine. Bobbi Althoff, the deadpan podcast host America can't get enough of. Wow, a whopping 10K views. America just can't get enough. Obviously, her publicist got her this opportunity, as a lot of celebrities and online talent alike do this type of thing, so they can still try and seem relevant to their sponsors and other people kind of pouring money into their careers. And before we get into all the out-of-touch things she said during these interviews, I did want to tell you guys about today's video sponsor. Some of you already know my coworkers Lola and Delilah.
Alright, bro. No support, y'all. No support.
Learn a lot about Bobbi for the good and the bad, and after listening to her, her come-up story actually doesn't sound that outrageous to me.
For a few years before, I was on TikTok just doing brand deals posting.
But she is honestly just not very likable. Coming up, she claims that she was posting 5 to 10 TikToks per day for years, where she routinely raked in millions of views, followers, and hundreds of thousands of dollars per year.
But my goal for the first year of once I started getting views and getting followers was that every single day I had to have one video that I posted that got 1 million views. So I would keep trying and trying and trying.
Now, using the Wayback Machine, I can see that her numbers do pretty much align with her story, but I do still think that after the Drake podcast, they really tried to make her this big thing, and it just kind of burnt out and then fell flat on its face for the same reason that industry plants in the music sector never stay hot, because the fans they garner are so incredibly generic and fickle that they would just move on to the next trend like nothing. And one thing I did find very interesting in these interviews was the insistence that she has always been driven by wanting to be famous.
I've always wanted to act or have some type of leg in Hollywood, kind of. So I felt, my family always says that if anybody in our family was going to end up where I ended up, it would be me, because I was the most driven towards that.
And even more by wanting to be rich.
How'd you become an influencer or creator?
Just wanting to make money.
She even says that the only reason she did podcasting and TikTok in the first place was because she saw how much money other people made doing it and got motivated.
Mentally decided that she made like at least.
What you think everybody was doing everything is for? Because they see the potential money. That means nothing. Yes, you shouldn't. I mean, don't go 100% focus on the money, because hey, you might not get there. But we're all doing this for some money. Nobody's doing none of this just to 100% not get paid. Never. I'm not.
$300 a year on her podcast alone, and I was like, that's what I need to do next. Like, I need a podcast.
And for someone who loves money so much, she seems incredibly lazy about her job. Multiple times she brags about the fact that she goes into her podcast doing little to zero research on her guest that day.
And what is your interview
that's
technique?
That was crazy. Like, what?
Just no research, show up, and ask questions. I was researching how he interviews people, and I was like, oh God, this is a lot of work. Let me just go in there and know nothing.
It's a lot of work.
It's so much work.
And keep in mind, she's doing this in the face of 2 career journalists who do not look very amused.
Is the notebook just for show? Because you can have it open and then paper on top of it.
This is just my method.
It's okay.
This is my method. I'm a journalist, so I have my method.
I was making around like $250 to $300 a year.
1,000.
Yeah.
From brand
deals on TikTok. Wow. And 250 is great and all, but it's hard to come up with content with just me every day.
$250,000 a year as an annual income is great and all.
Yes.
It is great.
It is great.
Yeah, she's out here making $300,000 per year. Sound like a minimum wage job at Sonic, which I don't think is a winning strategy for gaining public favor. To me, above all else, it really just seems like there's really no passion in anything Bobbi does. And it's all strictly for the money or the clout, which in some fields can definitely work, but not in the entertainment entertainment industry.
I hope that I go from D-list to A-list. That's my goal in 10 years.
From D-list to A-list.
Yes.
She still insists over and over, though, that she would be fine going back to a job at Jersey Mike's.
At the end of the day, if I had to go back and work at Jersey Mike's again to support myself, I'll make your sandwich for you.
Yeah, I'm calling absolute bullshit on that, okay? She wasn't even cool with $300,000.
No, nobody would want to do that. But if you had to, you got to be willing to do that, because a lot of times that's where a lot of celebrities fail at, or don't be able to come back from, because like, just say, all right, they've been acting since they was a kid, so you've been having people take care of you, you've been making all this money. Kid actually probably making a whole lot of money. Now that you're grown, you're not getting as many shows and movies here and there, so therefore, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna still sit back and be broke, or are you gonna go find your 9 to 5?
And during these interviews, both of the interviewers indirectly question her rise to fame and make allusions to the idea that someone in the background pulls a lot of strings for her.
What do you think is your appeal? Why do you think you became a thing?
Them TikTok people?
I'm not sure. I don't know. Why are you looking at me like that?
Well, early on, I was like, is that a joke? Like, what is an industry plant? You guys,
Right.
and I would just play into it because I was like, there's no way people actually think that. But then I realized, like, what people actually think that.
Actually, no, I did my reading. They actually think
they
that.
really do. And I think that makes sense. Like, from an outside looking in perspective, I can see why they would think that.
Basically, it seems like nobody's buying her story, and at one point she even cries over the hate that she receives online.
Sometimes it's just constructive criticism. It can be a little mean, but yeah, it doesn't bother me too much.
Other than that, when it comes to Bobbi, there were these pictures of men carrying her out of the club. Someone put together that she was allegedly dating this NFL player based on one of her posts, and then she got totally embarrassed when this dude did not want to claim her like that, denying the allegations on Twitter after they caught his ass in 4K. I mean, truly, there's nothing much worse than when you think you were in a full-blown relationship with someone, and it turns out they were hiding your ass the whole time or really don't want anything to do with you like that publicly. And so now she's been on TikTok crying.
Just like hard to imagine finding someone who is truly good for you. It's hard to imagine there's a world where there's like someone who's actually meant for you.
I mean, talk about a turn of events. She was online talking about it's time for her hoe phase.
So what you doing for these 2 years? You gonna be a hoe?
I have to do a hoe?
Yeah.
Maybe I will.
Oh no, you said you married young and you have your 2 kids already and you're divorced. Isn't that what divorced people do after that?
Bad,
just
boy.
Sleep around and have fun.
And now she's recording herself tearing up on camera.
And I got lonely. Met a guy around Thanksgiving. And I think things moved really fast. I don't know. I thought it was fucking fate. Clearly it wasn't. It was really sweet. It raised the bar for me, which sometimes sucks because then it's like, fuck. I didn't want the bar to be raised at all. Dating is just hard.
What?
Guys. Like,
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
I don't know, I always just think it's an interesting case study to see how quickly these individuals fall out of favor with the public. For her and the Hawk Tuah girl, it was like trying to live in a house with no foundation, like that bitch is up on stilts. All it really takes is a little adversity to knock that shit down. And listen guys, I truly think Drake owes this chick a room in his compound. Like if he had not laid up with her in bed and put her on the map, this all likely would have never happened. Maybe Kendrick wouldn't even have dissed his ass, maybe he was at home on his laptop and this is what sent him over the edge. He knew at this moment that Drake was not like him. In all seriousness though, Bobbi seems alright, but as far as her maintaining a career online, I just don't really see the longevity here, given her motivations are all wrapped up in clout, material possessions, and greed. Not to even mention the fact that it seems like she could—
Yeah, like, especially for podcasting, you gotta do your research. You gotta get to know something. You gotta get to know this person so you know what to ask this person. You gotta know what the fans want you to ask. You just going in asking typical questions. I mean, it might work, but that will only work if for a fact the fan base is watching strictly to support you. Forget what you asking. Forget who you're interviewing. They wanted to see you do something, so therefore they're gonna watch. But if not, if you have fan base that are actual people who like watching podcasts because they like the interviews and the questions, you gotta do your research. You can't go in there just lollygagging and yeah. What did you eat for breakfast today? What? No.